For more on the president's trip to South Florida, we are joined now by Facing South Florida's Jim DeFede. And Jim, the president didn't discuss the coronavirus pandemic here in one of the nation's leading hotspots. So was that a missed opportunity for him?
I think it was, because one of the things that you would expect is for him to sort of want to show some leadership on the issue. I mean, we're dealing with this in a massive way here in South Florida, this being the new hotspot. So to come into this community and not discuss it, not, for instance, imagine if he had visited with frontline healthcare workers, or if he had met with teachers and educators to talk about the school reopening that he wants to sort of push forward. This was an opportunity to come into the heart of one of the problem areas in the country and to sort of state that he cares. Right now, what he's trying to do is act almost as if the coronavirus doesn't exist. Well, that doesn't work in South Florida. We know it exists. We're seeing the effects of it right now. Our hospitals are filling up. So there's a disconnect there right now that is a real problem for him, as I think some voters are going to wonder, why is he coming here and not talking about the big issues?
And of course, Jim, we know that Governor Ron DeSantis is one of his most ardent supporters, but he was not there when the president arrived. Were you surprised by his absence?
Well, I was surprised, because typically the governor always shows up when these events sort of take place. I mean, this was a major event for the president. It's also a fundraiser, so you would expect to see the governor. But I will tell you that there have been some recent reports that there's some tension between the White House and the governor's office. The governor, you know, when he came into office, thanks largely to President Trump endorsing and supporting him, one of the things he did was he got rid of a key Republican in the political machinery for the state of Florida, someone who was closely aligned with Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump recently rehired that political operative, Susie Wiles, to run his campaign in Florida. And that supposedly has caused some real tension between the governor and the president. The New York Times reported yesterday that Governor DeSantis was not assisting in fundraising for the Republican National Convention coming up in Jacksonville next month. And so you're seeing some of that. Now, the governor's office denies this, the White House denies this, but clearly there's something off when you don't see the governor and the president in lockstep during an event like this.
We'll be watching more to find out more about that. All right, thank you so much, Jim DeFede, giving his perspective on the president's visit.